Welcome back. And today we've got Jisselle Douglas, one of our Enterprise Place members. Hi, Jisselle.
Hi, Ian. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm excited to hear how things are being going because it's all about makeup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about makeup and beauty.
Wonderful. Well, Jisselle will probably take you right back at the start. Like where does your love for makeup and beauty come from? Was that you as a child?
Well, so I'm originally from Trinidad, Caribbean, and for some reason in Trinidad, there's always been a perception of oh, you have to always look beautiful, I always have to look all well made and everything. So, I think my love for makeup and beauty started when I was in high school, trying to get into the cool groups and all of the stuff. So, I used to always like to try like getting my makeup done and all of that. So, started quite young.
Yeah. So when did you come across the Sunderland?
I came to Sunderland in 2019 when I started my bachelor's degree at the University of Sunderland. So hasn't been that long, just about 3 years now. And yeah, it's been a good experience so far. The university itself, through the enterprise place, has really helped me to get my business off the ground and really helped with my coaching and everything to get my business where I am today.
Great stuff. And what did you study?
I did my degree in business and marketing, so I've
Ah,
really been using my degree
mm.
to run my business.
I was going to say that's give you a good heads up then,
Yeah.
maybe on some of our members. So, what did you take from those studies, Jisselle, that helped you get into business? What kind of foundations did you take?
Well, so there was a mainly like a two-part of the degree. So it was the business end of things, and then there was the marketing end of things. What I really took away from my degree is the fact that marketing in business is and branding is so important, and that has like really helped me to get my brand in a place where I have a strong branding
Hmm.
and I know how to reach my target audience through different forms of marketing and advertising. So that has really helped me to actually get started and to be able to set a plan to be able to grow um, even as the environment changes. Like
Yes,
I've launched my business during the pandemic, and yeah, that made it a bit more difficult, but it's having a plan and knowing a structure, having a structure for how to get started, how to keep going, how to grow really helps.
that's interesting. So that plan that you talk about, is that something that's a sort of moving, feast where you're constantly updating that plan and
Yeah.
keeping up to speed? Yeah.
Yeah, so initially, obviously, I would have a business plan,
Mhm.
and the goal was to go according to the business plan. But as time changes, I've had to adapt to the current environment and sort of like see what works, what doesn't work, and adjust my plan as I go. But um, I'm doing the best I could in the current environment, and yeah, it's going okay. It's going well.
You talk about marketing, and I'm kind of thinking from the products that you have in your business that social media must be important. How do you find that?
Yeah, so currently I'm using Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Um, there are other platforms that I would love to get on and be more active on, but because I handle everything myself, I can't be every place at once. I think I had a session with you um before, and you told me the same thing. I'll focus on one of them and keep going from there. So my main social media platform that I've been using is Instagram and Facebook, but I've been using this also some scheduling apps where I can post simultaneously on multiple channels. So my main marketing platform at the moment is social media, is Instagram and Facebook, and my strategy for that is mostly posting content that my customers or possible customers would love, interacting with them, trying to stay. engage with my followers and all of that. So it can be a bit difficult sometimes because I also work on a full-time job. So in terms of that, the only issue I might have at times is just time really to
Yeah.
do as much of it as I would like.
It's interesting, isn't it, Jisselle? Because I think we spoke before about social media and, the kind of need to do really engaging posts. And
Hmm.
then you might post something or you might schedule it, as you say. But then once that starts to get engagement, there's time required to then nurture that post and
Yeah,
reply to people and like their comments and maybe ask more questions to nurture it. And as you
yeah,
say, if you're busy, how do you do that? So
yeah.
do you find that's something you've got to struggle with?
It is, to be honest. So because I've been using scheduling apps, I'm now posting 4 times a day. But because I work a full-time job, I'm not able to go on it all the time for each
Hmm.
time I post and interact all the time. So I tend to do it like during like midday and evening time, for all the posts during the day. Um, I feel like that the interaction might be a bit too late in the day if I post in the morning, but I'm doing the best with the time I have at the moment, to be honest.
I totally agree. You can only do what you can do, and if that's the time you've got, then you're using it wisely. So yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't beat yourself up. It sounds like you're doing great. What?
Well, there's always room for growth. I'm hoping the plan is to be able to be doing my business full time in the near future, so I would have more time to invest in that.
In terms of that sort of switch over, Giselle, so you want to go full time. At the moment, the business is kind of part time, and you're supplementing, an
Hmm.
income with another job.
Yeah.
When do you think will be the time to flip? Have you put a figure on it, or would you just know inside?
Well, it kind of coincides with a lot of other bits of my growth plan. I've given myself this is a very tight deadline, but I've given myself a year from now.
Mhm.
Um, that being said, I have to achieve a lot of other things. Um, One of my main plan for growth that I started off with was to have international distribution of my products. So because my products are Caribbean themed beauty products, the main distribution hub would be the Caribbean. So I'm currently in talk with some distribution companies within the Caribbean to see if I can get my products over beauty counters there. So the only issue at the moment is because of the pandemic, sales within those categories have kind of decreased because of the lack of gathering, social events and stuff. So that's putting a bit of a damper on getting things moving with them.
Hmm.
But I'm hoping by the time next year, and when things kind of get better with COVID, social life would be back to a bit normal, and I can have those contracts underway. That would really help a lot with in terms of my goals, in terms of revenue, to be able to start doing it full time.
Hmm. That's interesting. So you're taking Caribbean influenced makeup back to
Yeah,
your roots. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So in terms of that sort of import export sort of scenario, have you had any help with that?
So in terms of my products itself, I just have to ensure, that there are rules for import exports in terms
Mm.
of the quality of goods, regulations I have to pass and everything. Currently I am within all the standards that I need to be able to export my products internationally. My products also sell internationally via my website, so I am within those standards that I need to be. Uh,
Nice.
I had a concern previously about if I'm trying to grow my business too fast. So in terms of because I keep all my products with me, I store my products myself for the quantity that I would be needing to export. I would then need to get a separate storage unit
Mm.
um, to be able to store and export the quantity that I need to. That's something I'm working on in order to no to try to get my business to afford that before I can get to that stage. I don't want to get to that stage and then not be prepared um, to to fulfill my orders.
You spoke about your website there, so can we touch upon that? So is this an e-commerce website where I can go on and
Yeah,
say, I'll have one of those, put them in the basket,
yeah,
check out, and you would send them on?
yeah. So my website is at islandplaycosmetics.com. It's a full e-commerce website. Sorry, I use Shopify to host my website. It's a quite a good platform to start for any website. It's quite easy to manage. I try to update it as much as possible. I've recently even I have this marketing company working on the SEOs for me, just because because of the time that I don't have to put a lot of time into everything separately. So I have another company that's boosting my SEOs for me on that, while I can focus on the other things. But I'm hoping to. I remember when I spoke to you previously. I'm hoping that my website would be the main hub where I can generate most of my revenue from. However, though, I've noticed recently that a lot of my revenue have been coming from other platforms. So I have been recently approved to sell on Amazon, which I'm really excited about. I'm still in the process of listing my products though. But I do also sell on other wholesale platforms. And I find that a lot of my orders are coming from the wholesale platforms, which I'm okay with because I feel like I get a better range of distribution, from
Yeah.
those retailers.
So when do you sleep, Jisselle?
That's a good question. Um, it's really, yeah, it's so I work 9 to 5, and then I get home, I have a nap, and then I get up at around 9 and I work until like 3, 4, and then I
Wow.
start again. I know it's a lot of hours, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm really
Yeah.
okay with it.
Okay. Okay. So just going back to the enterprise place, then how's things been? What sort of facilities, what sort of coaching have you dipped into across the time you've been with us?
So, in terms of like, I got my business plan together through the enterprise place. They really helped me with all of the coaching and the structure that I need and all the things I need to consider in order to get my business up and running. Like everything that I need to consider before I launch, before I get started, and that's like such a huge help in terms of like making sure I have a plan. Because initially I would have thought, oh, I can just get started and go from there, but it makes a lot more sense to have a plan. So something you can go back to check to make sure you're going according to schedule, or you're doing things according to how you initially wanted it. Apart from getting my business plan together and helping me get started, um, the enterprise place also helped me with my startup visa. So because I'm an international student, I would need a startup visa to do my business here. So they would have helped me with my startup visa so I can do my business, as well as to help me out with some funding from through Enterprise Place, through funding from Santander. And that really helped because when I just got started, because of the pandemic, it was a bit hard financially, and I had to push my business back a bit. But then with the funding, it helped me to just get started.
Wow, that sounds like you've had a lot of help, but also it sounds like
Yeah.
you've also kind of met that help with the effort you've put in as well. It's a two-way thing, isn't it? You kind of
Yeah.
you put in what you get out. So it sounds like you've been
Mm,
really wedded to this and committed.
yeah.
Um, if I had to ask you, Jisselle, in terms of experience or feedback, what is the kind of best piece of advice you've received during this time?
Um, just be persistent
Okay.
and stay focused. It's hard work. But so you have to be willing to do it. You have to have a love for what you're doing to stick to it, because there are some moments where you just feel like curling up and crying. But not I have done that, but
Yeah.
um, but you have to have a love for it and have a end goal, or at least a benchmark where you want to get to, something you can keep working towards, because there are hard moments. There are moments that you feel like you're working so hard and you're not seeing the results of it. But if you keep doing it, you're eventually going to see the end results of it.
I love that, Jisselle. Just keep on going, just keep persisting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your journey, and best of luck with it going forward. It's really exciting. I love what you do. I love your
Oh,
passion as
thank
well.
you.
So thank you so much, Jisselle. It's been great to see you.
My pleasure.